Everybody, Fickster here, doing something a little different today. I'm very excited. My family and I, we love a drink called kombucha. Some have heard, some probably haven't heard of kombucha. At the store, it's pretty expensive. You could pay $5 for a small bottle. But what we like to do is we like to make it on our own. So if you look right here, this is actually kombucha that's already been brewed. It's pretty easy. On the top is what's called a SCOBY. It's a self-contained organism of bacteria and yeast, and that's kind of what helps to make it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. I'm going to really quick give my hands a quick wash in really hot water because you don't want to use soap, and if you do use soap, you have to really get the soap off of you. So what I usually do is I'll wash it with soap and then I'll wait, I don't know, like 10 minutes and then just give it a nice rinse in hot water. So you come over here, we got the cup. Okay, we don't have the cup yet. So you take out the SCOBY. Okay. Take the SCOBY out, put it in here. So this is your bacteria right there, or what's called a SCOBY. Now to make another batch, you're going to want to take 2 cups of your already made kombucha, and you're going to put it in there because then you're going to start the next batch with that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to give this a quick mix. Because there is some of the stuff on the bottom, as you can see. That's a good sign when you got the bubbles kicking up like that. That's a good sign, meaning it's good to go. So I'm going to take this, and I like to pour it in here because it's easier to disperse it into the cups that I have for the second fermentation. What this is in this bottle is the first fermentation process. So it's kind of backwards because since we already have it done. So what I do is I take just some regular frozen fruit, throw it in here. We got strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Throw it in here. Take just a little bit of my already made kombucha here. Throw it in there as a good liquid, solid base. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. Put a little bit more juice in there. Okay. That should be good. There we go. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. One thing I'm going to want to do is take a little bit of sugar, not a whole lot, because when you're doing the second carbonation, the yeast wants to feast on a little sugar. So I throw a little bit of sugar in there and mix it up one more time. And that's going to be fine. So now what I do is I come over here. Actually, I'm just going to come over here and do it like this. Because the first thing that I do is I like to add that into here. I usually do something like this, just a little bit off the bottom, maybe a 1/4 inch. Sometimes I do a little bit more like that. Just trying to kind of do this a little quick because I know a lot of people don't like to watch a 20-minute YouTube video. So I'm just going to quickly get this done. Okay. Now I just take my already made kombucha, throw it in here for the second fermentation process. I feel weird. Usually my wife's over here helping me, but now she's the camera lady. Now what I usually like to do is, you could see the circles right here at the bottom. I kind of just like to have the kombucha right at the top of that circle. And then it gives it room for the air to come through when the yeast are feeding. Time of the show, I'll kind of just let the bubbles go where they may. I go ahead and I throw my top on, clamp it down, because you have to have something that clamps down to get the second carbonation in there, because for the carbonation, when the yeast is feeding, it lets off gases, and then the gas has nowhere to go, so it pushes it back into the drink, which then carbonates it. So really quick, I'm going to do the rest of this really fast. Excuse the background noise, I got kiddos in there always wanting to play. God bless them. Okay. Okay, so we got those done. So now what we do, clean the bottles off. Now for the second fermentation process, it's a 4-day process. So you keep it in the bottle for 4 days, and then within that 4-day process, it's going to go ahead and it's going to carbonate all your bottles. And you don't want them in direct sunlight, so what I do So I've got a little spot right here. I just throw them back here, like that. So now we can get started on the new booch. So what we do is we take, these are gallon jugs. So my wife already got a 1.5 quarts that's boiling. So what you do is we're gonna put tea bags in here. You want 12. You want 12 to a 12 to a gallon. And then you're going to let them sit for 5 minutes. So you're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. Once your 5 minutes comes, you're going to add another 1.5 quarts of cold and 2 cups of sugar, because it's 2 cups of sugar per gallon. So while I'm waiting for that 5 minutes to finish, I'm going to take my already made kombucha. I'm going to pour it in here. Now that's already brewed kombucha. Now when you make kombucha, you do want to use already brewed at least 2 cups, just because of the fact then it gives it a boost in starting it. One thing you do have to be careful with, when you are boiling your water, you want to make sure that when you put your SCOBY in, that your SCOBY does not go in hot water and does not go in cold water. You want to make sure that the SCOBY goes in water that is room temperature, because if it's too cold, it'll kill it off. If it's too hot, it will kill it off. So you want to be very mindful of your SCOBY. Okay, so I'm going to take these out. Where's the top of that? It's weird making the video because I'm usually doing this, like I said, with my wife, and she takes care of some things and I take care of some things. I haven't done the whole process by myself in a while. Hot, 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 hot. Okay, so now you've got that. That's your tea. Now we're going to come over here. Clean this, dry this. Usually I do it a little differently, but for time of the video, I'm just, because normally I do all 3 gallons at once. Okay, we're going to take 2 full cups of sugar. We're going to throw that in there. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're mixing this, get that sugar dissolved in your warm tea. I'm glad my wife is taping this because I just spilled some. I can hear what she's saying in her mind to me right now. And that's my son saying "Bucha." Okay, so now move this out of there. fill up my other quart and a half. Pour the cold water right into the hot water. Give it a little stir. It's not quite room temperature, so what I do, I'm just going to grab a few ice cubes out of the freezer. Doing this as long as we have, I can tell it'll take about 4, and that'll get me to where I want to be. As you can see, the ice isn't melting very fast because it wasn't hot after I put the quart and a half in. It was just semi-warm, but I also don't want to take the chance of killing my SCOBY. Do remember, if you are, because you can just let it sit out and cool on its own. I like to get the process just done. But do remember, when you are measuring your water, that you make room for ice. So if you are going to put ice in there, make sure you leave yourself a little bit of room. Okay, so my ice is now dissolved. So I just really quick take my jar with the already kombucha in there. I'm going to pour this all in there. And that is perfect because it's right at the line. And then I'm going to take my SCOBY. I'm going to throw my SCOBY right on the top. Now if your SCOBY sinks or if it folds up, it's okay. It will rise back up to the top and it's going to do what it does. And then I have a coffee filter and I just put it over this. I don't have flies or anything in my house. But anything I've watched with making kombucha, you just want to put a top on it so no bugs or insects get in it. So guys, that's how I make kombucha. Quick, easy, and give me some thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching.